Hello and welcome. Today we're taking a look at recently released Shadow Warrior 2, and before we get into any serious gameplay, here at the start, as you can see, I'm rotating, and I'm doing that because I noticed there is some weird stuttering for some reason, which I believe is connected to VSync. So if you cannot reach your designated 60 frames target or 30 frames, I would advise you not to rotate in one spot, as that is pretty much the only time I noticed this happening. Otherwise the game performs just fine and has no issues with the performance whatsoever. As you can see, the frame rate on high settings, as stated in the bottom left corner, is about 40 frames to 50 variable, and definitely not 60 as some would love. So in case you do wanna play at 60, stay tuned, as later on we do change these settings and see how it performs on different optimizational settings. And here in the first fight we can see the frame rate drop to about 35, which is somewhat bad, but then again the game does have recommended 970 GTX NVIDIA graphics card, and we're playing on 880M, which is considerably worse. But still it is playable as it stays above 30, and that is more than enough. Afterwards we change the settings to volumetric fog low and screen space reflections to off, and surprise surprise, we got about 10 frames, which is a lot if you ask me. So in case you want to play at high settings and not really have anything else set below that, you will have to compromise with these two, and with that you'll be able to play at pretty much higher settings. Almost. I mean, let's be honest, 50 to 60 frames is more than enough for most players, including me. And as you can see here in this boss battle, we are reaching 60 most of the time. However, once he will call the minions of his, you will see that the frames drop to about 45, even 40 times, which again can be helped since the graphics card is simply not strong enough. But the game is well optimized, and that can be seen as the frame rates are pretty stable once they reach the lower end of whatever settings you're playing at. And here we change these settings to medium, which improved our frame rate somewhat, but still the 60 cap is not reached. However, most of the time, meaning every time you're not in a enclosed small space or area, you should be fine. And as we can see here, when we're fighting these spiders, the frame rate is pretty much above 60 all of the time and presents no problem to our graphics card whatsoever. However, we'll see soon that even on low settings there are times when we simply cannot reach 60 no matter what, even playing at the lowest settings. But that shouldn't be any surprise, as already said, the graphics card is simply not strong enough. But you will be glad to see that most of the time you'll be able to play this game at 60 frames, pretty much capped on high settings preset. As you can see right here, the frame rate is staying above 60 most of the time, and other times above 50, which is really well received by my side. And as you can see, the gameplay is smooth, performs well, and pretty much shows no signs of struggle whatsoever. So if you're thinking about getting this game, I can say that's a big yes. And at the end of the video, as always, I'll leave you with some more additional footage. And as always, Jock signing off.